Hey everyone, my name is Kris. Welcome to Gear Corner. Do you remember the Friedman IRX preamp pedal? Dave Friedman just released the IRD dual tube preamp, which is a take on his Dirty Shirley amplifier. It has the same preamp with two preamp tubes. It has a power amp simulation. It has an effects loop and it does IRs as well. It's preloaded with Dave's 3 favorite impulse responses. And this is how it sounds like. Make sure to hit subscribe if you enjoy these videos and check out the description box for product links, for additional infos, for timestamps, and my merchandise in case you want to grab something. So the first way of using the IRD is replacing an amplifier and a cabinet with it. This is obviously the most reasonable way of using it and most common thing. I think what people want to have from it is that you can just literally plug your guitar in, and then from the output you go into a mixer at home to practice in rehearsal room or on stage, or you just go straight into your audio interface to record yourself. It takes care of everything that an amplifier and cabinet needs to take care of. So it has a preamp. It's a proper tube preamp with two 12AX7 tubes. It's a proper high voltage preamp built inside, pretty much the same thing as in the Dirty Shirley amp, and it's just tailored to work in this enclosure. It has a power amp simulation and it does IRs as well, so that's the cabinet and mic simulation. It's a super compact way of sounding amazing. That was the clean sound with the IRD, and even though it has 2 channels and I used the top channel, they are identical. So you can set up both channels to sound exactly the same. Let's stick to channel 1, my clean to low gain channel, and I'll twist some knobs and show you what the switches do, because those can change everything about how the channel reacts. Right now I'm in the middle position on the S1 switch. That is the structure, and that gives you 3 different gain options, like amounts of gain. The middle setting is the cleanest, and then you have a medium gain setting and a higher gain setting. The boost, which is the next thing I wanted to talk about, you can set it up to give you different volumes if you want to use the boost for like a solo sound, just a bit more volume. There are 2 trim pots on the side of the pedal with which you can set up the amount of gain for the boost per channel. The bright switch, you can disengage it or engage it. I quite like it engaged because it just gives the tone, whether it's clean or drivey, whatever you choose. I love that kind of like tasty bite that it gives to the tone. It's not the kind of super harsh thing that you just want to keep off all the time. All right, let's go over to channel 2, which I've set up for an overdrive channel, or like a, I don't know, distortion channel. This is the highest gain setting right now, and I have the bright switch on. This is the reason why I love Friedman amps. I mean, the cleans are always amazing, the crunch is beautiful, but this high gain tone, this is where you immediately spot like, okay, that's a Friedman. This is how my perfect modded British amp tone should be, and that's what Dave does best. Crazy good. So let's talk about the IRs, this little toggle here, the cab/IR switch. It has 3 positions, so you can have 3 different IRs saved in those slots, and then just switch with your hand, or just stick to one IR for channel 1 and then stick to another one for channel 2. And with that, you can also sort of find the best cabinet and mic simulation for the kind of tone you're going for with that channel. Now, if you use the app, you can swap those IRs and you can put in even more. You can set up the MIDI control for the pedal, which it does. You can control it via MIDI, and then you can have even more stuff, and you can have tons of presets. You know how MIDI works, but let's just stick to these three that are loaded, like preloaded in the pedal. These are the factory IRs, and these are Dave's three favorite sort of cabinets that he uses all the time, his personal cabinets. Now let's see how it reacts to pedals. It has an effects loop, so if you want your time-based effects and modulation effects to be after the clipping, after the drive coming from the IRD, you put those pedals in the effects loop. And if you want to have any drive pedals in front, you just have your guitar first, then the drive pedal, then the IRD, and then you go into wherever you want to mixer or interface to record yourself. And of course, you can use the IRD just as a preamp. So you can disengage the impulse response and the power amp simulation with just stepping on this switch for a few seconds. And then the IRD is like a tube preamp pedal that you can plug into the effects return of your tube amplifier. Use that power amp going into a cabinet, do the regular things. You can just have the preamp section active of the IRD. It's literally half of the Dirty Shirley. It's just the first section of it is the preamp of that amp, which is one of my all-time favorite amps. So it is mighty and definitely usable that way as well. You can incorporate it into your regular amp setup. Now, my thoughts on the IRD. It's hard not to love it, and it's really hard to be picky and find anything that's annoying or anything that I'm missing, or I would want it to do it in a different way. The IRs and the whole power amp simulation thing is ridiculous. It's I cannot tell the difference between this sound and an actual big amp with a cabinet and a mic in front of that cabinet. I am the worst kind of player for all modern gear developers, because I cannot be impressed by, oh my god, so many features, so many knobs to twist, so many presets to save. I do not care at all. All I care about is two really nice tonal options, maybe a lower gain, maybe a higher gain. That's it. If I want to do more, I will use the knobs on the guitar. I might put a pedal in front or after it. That's my weird, I don't know, old school method, and all I care about is that it feels right, most importantly, and that I don't have to tweak it for hours until I'm happy. The only thing I can sort of complain about, and I was really looking for something, because otherwise this is just gonna be a oh my god, it's so good kind of video, the USB port, because you need that to connect it to the computer and use the app. It's a really cool, nice addition to the pedal. But I love about the pedal is that you don't need the app to be happy with it. You can just be hands-on and set up all your knobs and switches on the pedal itself, and don't ever have to touch the app to be super happy and get all the good stuff out of the IRD. Now, the only thing I can complain about is that, as mentioned, that USB port. It's a USB-B port, and the cable that comes with it is a USB-B to USB-A. I don't know if that's cool in 2024. It's fine, you know. Most people still have a computer that does have a USB-A, but a lot of people, like in my surrounding, including myself, I don't have a USB-A port on my computer. I would just very much prefer a USB-C cable, USB-C plug on the IRD, and just, you know, another USB-C plug that goes into my computer. That's it. Yeah, I would have loved seeing something like that, but hey, maybe V2 is gonna come with, I don't know, I'm just making things up, but that's literally the only thing that I kind of feel like, oh really, why though? The rest of the pedal is crazy good. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know what you think about the sounds you've heard with the IRD in the comments below, and see you in a new video next week. Bye bye.